And I'm Matt Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannas.
And today's a day, and we're going to be disclosing all over it.
All over it. Mm-hmm. Because today we are discussing the man, the myth, the legend himself, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day.
Yep, and we got to see it early a little bit ago. It, I think, just came out for the general audience earlier last week.
You're acting like we saw it so early.
We saw it like 4 days early.
We saw it 4 days
and for
early.
free, so, yeah.
This is an interesting one for us to cover because it's not, like, it's horror.
You know, we knew it was going to be a Spielberg alien movie, which all of them have some little bits of horror. Like, obviously, War of the Worlds is very horror. Close Encounters has horror moment. E.T. for some people is horror. It's the scariest
movie I've ever seen.
And so we didn't really know going in, but we're going to cover it because it's, we like Spielberg. We like alien movies.
Aliens are scary.
Aliens are scary. Cosmic horror is scary. The thought of being alone in the universe is scary. The thought of there being things out there maybe stronger than us is scary. The thought of them being just like us but will never interact is also scary.
And maybe, just maybe, parts of the filmmaking are scary.
They are. There are
we'll
moments.
See.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, so let's dig in. This film is, like we said, directed by Steven Spielberg, produced by Spielberg, and based on a story by Spielberg. He, in 2023, spent 2 months writing a 50 to 60 page story outline that would serve as the basis for the film. The screenplay was ultimately written by David Koepp. And the film stars Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, and Coleman Domingo.
Facts.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say to that.
Yeah, that's fine. David Koepp, I have a lot of feelings about that we will get into as this episode moves forward. But
we don't need any background on Spielberg, right?
We really don't. What I will say about our boy David Koepp is he has written a number of films. He's written over 30 films, to my knowledge.
Okay.
I know in the 2000s he has well over 20-something alone. He wrote 42 drafts for this screenplay.
I did hear that.
The most of his career.
And do we know why? Was it that Spielberg wasn't happy with them, so he kept saying go back? Is that
That's
the understanding?
My understanding.
Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like if you're on round number like 11 and you're like, bro, this is still not it, maybe find someone else or add another player to this, because I do think that the screenplay is probably the weakest part of the film, but we will get there.
Okay, I won't say anything.
We, as per usual with new releases, are going to be spoiler free.
I'm glad you reminded me because I would have forgotten this time around. We just recorded right before this on another episode and wasn't spoiler free.
Yeah.
So we'll be spoiler free until we say spoiler zone, and you're going to hear a guy in a siren.
Yeah. Matt Dalton and the siren.
Yep.
But we will talk about our thoughts, without spoiling the film.
Yep.
But I just spoiled my thoughts. A little bit more background. This marks the 30th collaboration between Steven Spielberg and, take a guess.
John Williams.
Duh.
Yeah.
John Williams had actually retired, and Steven Spielberg was like, "Ayo, brother,
it's
I'm gonna need you to make this."
Because I thought he was done working, and then while watching the movie, I was like, this guy sounds a lot like John Williams. Spielberg just found a guy that sounded like him. Oh, it was him.
Yep.
So, that makes sense. And guess what? The score was good.
The score is good.
It's John Williams. He doesn't really miss.
I think there are hot takes about John Williams. I don't know if it's hot, but I do think because he's been working so long that some of his scores sound like John Williams.
Definitely. I mean, he's got a signature style, but same people say that about Hans Zimmer. And Hans Zimmer has a style. But now he's got the interns working on all this stuff.
I
so
like the score for this movie, but I can't say that I think it's standout.
Oh, interesting. I found it very moving and thought it fit perfectly. There are some scenes where I do think it's really for what the movie's doing. Yeah. So,
final piece of background, because I didn't want to overload with background, because I know we're gonna have a lot of rankings and things like that to talk about. For the scenes where Margaret is speaking in alien language while in camera, Emily Blunt was told that her dialogue would be enhanced using AI post-processing techniques, but instead Her vocal training was so damn good that she was able to create a distinct set of vocalizations and performed them in a single 4-minute take that made the film.
That's incredible. Would have had no idea that was her because they are very scary sounding. So,
yeah. Killed it.
Big on you, Emily Blunt. You're great.
And she also went through like a lot of training for the Russian and Korean. Is it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Russian and Korean.
That she spoke. I
have a hot take about Emily Blunt, so I'll wait as my hot take for later. Yeah. It's a stupid one. That's why it's a hot take, though. Okay.
Perfect. So
remind me though. It's about Emily Blunt specifically.
Okay, I will. I don't even know if I wrote.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, I did write a hot take, and it's not hot. it's
yours never are.
They're never hot. I just need to start calling it takes. Warm take, especially cold takes. I don't know. Okay, but in our Alien movie Mount Rushmore episode, which if you haven't listened, you should, because we had some really fun guests, I forgot to do our social media prompt. So I'm going to do it here because that question was, what's your favorite Alien movie?
Okay.
So Movie Postmortem Podcast said Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
A great pick that you also recently watched for the first time in prep for this.
It was quite literally in prep for this. I've been doing a lot of prep for this.
I'm sure people already know this if they listen to our Alien Mount Rushmore episode, which if you haven't, go listen to it. I think it's a really good episode.
It's so fun.
I think it was really fun, and I think we came to a really good consensus on our top 4 of most important Alien movies, whatever you call it. And it was really good. I'm just going to toot our own horns a little bit. I think it's worth listening to. Fair. And it was not doing as well as our normal episodes. So please go listen. Thank you. Pause this right now. Actually, don't. Bad for the algorithm. Listen to all this, then go listen to Alien Mount Rushmore. Thank you. Okay.
Continue. Queer Horror Cove said my obvious and uninspired answer is Alien.
Great answer.
You know, it's the obvious answer for a reason.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yep.
Brennerection said Aliens it's like res.
Okay, Brennerection.
It's not like
okay. Got it.
It's like
That's okay. You don't need to explain it.
I don't know.
Silly.
It's not erection. Okay, said Aliens is the reasonable choice, but I saw Species at a very impressionable age.
I don't know that one. That sounds cool though.
Oh, it's I haven't seen it, my bad. 2Crow48 said to choose a non-obvious answer, Attack the Block.
That is a really cool answer. That's one I haven't seen, but I've heard very good things about.
I was told to watch it for Disclosure Day prep, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
My bad.
You watched The Fablemans instead?
I did do that. Yeah. And then Walden Samkite, I'm so sorry. That can't possibly be right, but here we are.
It's Walled in Sam Kit. Oh, yeah. I thought it was a pun. It's not. It's actually just a name. Go ahead.
Okay. Said Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I've heard that a couple times as well. So I saw you commented one in there.
Yeah, it's a spoiler for our Mount Rushmore episode.
Okay. Never mind then. We won't say it then.
Listen to that.
Yeah. I was going to say all of my top 4 are in that episode. So
we say them.
Listen to it. Yep.
Okay. We also, for this episode, asked, what movie were you afraid of most as a child, and does it impact how you view movies now? The reason why we asked this is because I've made it well known on this podcast that E.T. has scared the absolute living shit out of me since I was 4.
So much that she didn't even watch it to get prepared for Disclosure Day.
I wouldn't.
I heard E.T. was pissed that Spielberg didn't give him a call to a cameo.
A bunch of people were like, I thought at this one point in the movie they were going to reveal and it was going to be E.T. And I was like, no.
E.T. even got a cameo in the Star Wars prequels, but Spielberg can't call him for this.
I would have started crying
Fake friend.
In fear had he made a cameo in this. Anyway, yeah, so that's what inspired this question, just for background. And you know what? I wasn't the only person with a fear of E.T. coming to play. Brits by Hobnob, hey Brett, said E.T. and AI artificial intelligence, 2 Spielberg movies, funny enough. Still will not watch either film. I now know I don't have to finish movie if I don't vibe with it. I had powered through both and wish I hadn't.
Wait, Brit won't watch E.T. either? We need to see E.T. We're going to go visit, and the 3 of us will sit down.
No.
And watch it.
No.
No. That's what you sounded like. Okay.
Heather J. Stewart said Poltergeist, and I still find clowns creepy and scary.
That's a good one, Heather.
And jelly makes me sick.
I know you like Poltergeist, but that was, I know a lot of people say that was tough when they were a kid.
Das Chaser said, as lame as it is, darkness falls. Saw it at a 9 p.m. showing as a kid and had to walk to my grandmother's by myself afterwards. Yikes. We got a lot of answers, so I'm not actually going to go through all of them. I'll just give a few more. Queer Horror Cove said Salem's Lot and The Guardian. I think the VHS covers really got me and informed how scared I was of the movies. Definitely a few parts of E.T. too. My family loved horror, so I just powered through all of them, and TBH, I enjoyed being scared as a kid. I have the same attitude as an adult. Watch it, even if you're scared or disturbed. I wish I had that power.
All right, I'm going to name my 3 for any new viewers that haven't watched. First, Powerpuff Girls. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, my bad.
I was just going to read one more. Attack of the Killer Objects said Child's Play. I didn't like playing with dolls as a result. That said, I've quite obviously gotten over that.
I like it. All right. There's a Powerpuff Girls episode with a zombie magician. I forgot the name of it.
So you're scared of magicians?
Very scared. No, he was a zombie magician. He died by going in an Iron Maiden.
Hey, you know that was the joke, right? It's a zombie magician, so I said, so you're afraid of magicians?
I'm too scared to understand the joke. Second, King Ramsay's Curse, Courage the Cowardly Dog, you've seen it. And third, the biggest one that made me not be able to sleep was Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
And we covered it!
Clearly have and I love that movie now, but it messed me up for years. I clearly have a zombie issue. Or I think it was the monsters being real. But I like zombie movies now. But yeah, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island was bad. Really, I wasn't allowed to watch it. My mom can vouch. She listens, so.
Okay, so we've done our background. We've done our prompts. Let's get into spoiler-free thoughts. So to start this section, let's talk about our expectations going into the film and our experience at the theater.
Expectations are that I am a big Spielberg fan, although I'm not as caught up on all of his films as I would expect to be. I'm about like 50%.
It's because he has had a lot of peepaw films in the 21st century.
I mean, there's a lot of older films I haven't seen of his. I haven't seen like Empire in the Sun or Munich or Amistad or 1941. Mm-hmm. There's like plenty. I just haven't.
I feel like in the last decade and a half, he's had some real like, okay, grandpa, like Warhorse.
Oh, yeah, I never saw that.
Lincoln.
I should have saw Lincoln. I never saw Bridge of Spies either. But I would say, like, I'm a fan of his. I recognize him as one of the greatest to ever do it and one of the most important filmmakers. And I really like his Alien movies. So I was very excited for another kind of espionage alien style movie.
I had this weird thing where I was, like, pretty excited, but I thought the trailers were
I didn't think the trailers were that good.
I thought the trailers were actively bad. So I did not have very high expectations going in. And I think that actually served me very well because I think I was allowed to, like, it gave me more mental freedom to just, like, experience it as it came. And I didn't have it, like, comparisons in my head to, like, what I thought it would be. Because, like I said, I really was like, these trailers are ass. So
they weren't great.
I don't think it'll be that good of a movie.
I think, though, I'm coming off of seeing The Fabelmans as the last movie he had before this, which I loved. And so just like, I kind of just trust him. Mm-hmm. You know, there's an inherent trust I now have with a director that I should have had. Yeah, Hannah watched The Fabelmans in prep for this episode. And I do think, and I do want to talk about that movie a little bit, but it's kind of an amazing movie that it exists. And that we were kind of let in to this person's psyche as much as we were, and to their life and to their insecurities. And even was willing to portray himself in somewhat of a negative light in this movie. And even I'm talking even after the movie, it's like what he had to give up in his mind to be what he wanted to be is not the greatest thing ever. You know, there very much is like a family is hard to have if you want to be a true artist narrative. And he doesn't like go against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think with that, I just have some trust, I would say, with him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I definitely did some Spielberg prep, not like a ton, but in like the 3 days before we are recording, we watched Schindler's List.
Yeah, I had never seen it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Work of art. I watched Ready Player One.
Which you did not like. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was booty. I watched The Fabelmans.
Which is great.
And then earlier in the year, for prep, I watched Close Encounters for the first time.
No, of the third kind.
Shut up. That's a bad joke. It like broke my brain for a second. I hate you. Okay, yeah.
All right, sorry, go.
I watched that. I watched some more Alien films. We watched Arrival, which I had seen and loved. We watched Independence Day, which I'd never seen because I was too scared to watch it.
Tell the audience, the world, what you thought of Independence Day.
I had a lot of fun.
It's great. It's the most movie of all time.
That is so true.
Arguably, I wrote in my Letterboxd review, it was like arguably one of the best movies ever made. And like I arguably, like someone could argue it.
I love Bill Pullman. I think
and Jeff Goldblum.
I think it's a movie of hotties that aren't like maybe conventionally what the world would think is hot, but like should and do. You know, it's really interesting. Yeah, Bill Pullman.
Randy Quaid specifically.
I was like, not him. Bill Pullman the whole time. I was like, yes, King, get it, let's go. I was really pumped for him. Yeah,
the movie makes me patriotic.
I didn't have that. But I
You're telling me the president of the United States getting behind
you know what?
Getting into the pilot seat.
And that was a lot of fun.
Of a fighter jet.
I'm not a patriotic. I struggle to feel patriotic in the last since Trump got elected. So the first time. So
you were patriotic during all the, anti-Muslim hate after 9/11?
I was too young to be patriotic.
I'm trying to trap you.
So basically, I never
Hannah.
have been.
Okay, yeah, wow.
Yep.
They said next time the woman will be sending the bombs,
Whoa. It won't be me. I'm not
just
involved.
trying to trap you.
I didn't vote for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I did lots of prep for this. But again, I really was like, this movie looks like butt. It'll be fine though, because it's a Spielberg movie.
And it has Josh O'Connor in it.
I love Josh O'Connor. So that was
Colman
kind of
Domingo.
like, I didn't know he was in it until he showed up. And I was like,
neither
oh
did
my God! But we did see it early. We saw it in a massive IMAX theater.
Which was sick.
It was pretty sick.
I never feel the need to see an IMAX, but then I did. And I was like, you know what, every time I do it, I'm like, that's so good.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
I have an important question about IMAX. It was an odd crowd. It was big.
Well, there was definitely mixed reactions because there were points of dialogue where people were kind of like giggly, snickery. Yeah. And then there were points where people were like, yeah, applause. Mm-hmm. So it was, you could see the whole gamut. And I do think that matches the public reaction to the film as well, because I think there are a very wide spectrum of responses to this film.
Yes. Non-spoilers, I need to ask a question about our theater. There were a couple times where there was shadows of flies that were green and red, and I thought that was part of the movie, and then I realized later that those were probably just flies crawling on the projector, and I wanted to know what you thought.
I didn't even think about that it could have been on the projector.
You thought it was part of the movie too?
Yeah.
So I thought it was part of the movie the whole time, and then later I was like, oh no, there's probably just flies in the projector room. And now I have no idea.
What the fuck?
This is crazy. Okay, I'm glad I waited to ask.
What the hell?
Yeah, what?
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I don't think I think the flies were just because they crawled. Wait. Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna have to make a TikTok or an Instagram post about this and ask people,
is really funny. If there were fly shadows,
there were flies in the shots, or if it was just
it made it look like they were crawling on the screen, and I was like, that's a really cool effect. And then I was like, wait a second,
why would they do that so many times?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that our brains are so broken. You and I both thought the same thing. We need to ask other people in the theater with us. It did. It looked really cool, so I thought it was part of the movie.
Yeah, it looked
now we don't know. Now we'll never know.
I'll figure it out.
I think I was afraid to bring it up to you because you think I was dumb, but now
I saw
you're the dumb one too.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but you also thought it was part of the movie. Is what I mean.
Yeah, we talked about it in the movie. We were like, the fly.
Yeah, and then I realized later. And I didn't say anything. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, well, let's continue.
So that's a fun detail about our experience. If you saw the movie, please drop a comment and let us know if there were flies.
Shadows of them? Not shadows exactly, but
okay.
Like an effect. Okay, go ahead.
Let's talk about the movie and actually say what we thought, because I've hinted at certain things. We talked about public perception being pretty mixed. Is our reception mixed?
I liked it a lot. When it ended, I was like, I know that this is going to be controversial. I was like, I kind of loved that though. And I felt that it worked really well for me. I could understand again why it would feel mixed, because it's an odd movie and it's a very sincere movie. And I'll touch on that more. But for me, I liked it a lot for a lot of different reasons. So
I had a lot of fun with the movie, I think the script is a mess. And I think some of the dialogue at times can be really clunky.
I don't think I disagree with that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is I still liked it.
Everything else worked so well for me that I liked it a lot. And Brian from Talking Horror made fun of me because if a movie's controversial, you can guarantee I'm going to love it. And if it's a widely beloved movie, I'm probably going to be like, it's all right.
Yeah, so after the movie, Matt was like, I loved it. Brian was like, yeah, that tracks.
That tracks. And I was like, what does that mean, Brian?
Well, Matt can be a contrarian. And
a contrarian implies that you're trying to do it on purpose. I'm not trying to do it on purpose, I think.
Okay, well, then you're an accidental contrarian.
Accidental contrarian. I just happened to think that this was a well-made movie, so.
I think Steven's role was probably the bestest. I think that this movie, the filmmaking is extremely dynamic and magnetic. It just looks so good. You just can't look away when Spielberg is shooting a film, and the way that the characters are blocked and the way that the camera moves. I feel like it's always just so compelling and interesting. So that is no surprise.
The use of windows and mirrors and shots on window reflections is really interesting, cool. And the way that he moves into these shots as well. I've said it many times on this podcast, nobody is able to move the camera and people the way that Spielberg does. Yes. It's like his ability to move both perfectly is really impressive.
Yes.
And simultaneously. So
I agree.
The man also, alluded to this already. He, with a lot of his work, is very, very sincere in his delivery. And I found that this one is overly sincere to a point that I think it makes people uncomfortable. And I know you felt that you agreed with what I said there, where I feel that some of the emotions that are delivered are legitimate, but they make people watching it squirm a little. Like Toni Collette's screaming in Hereditary.
Yeah.
It feels a little too real. And also sometimes we live in such a cynical world.
I think it's hard to buy into sincerity.
Yes. And we believe in a lot of our movies are quippy and have cynicism in them. And when all of your characters very much believe in what they're doing and say things that feel corny or melodramatic, it can make people feel weird. But for me, it works. And I like the sincerity.
I think it's really interesting to think about that as Spielberg's style, because he is making movies that are fairly dark at the same time.
Yes.
So it's interesting, the combination of the evils of our world and the darkness of our world combined with this very optimistic filmmaker, or he has elements of his films that are really optimistic.
Does that remind you of any other director you really like? No, you're not.
David Lynch,
yes.
I'm guessing.
Very much so. And we know that they we know that they knew each other. Yeah. And David Lynch has talked about him before. And I think they're more similar than people might let on. David Lynch said it best. He was like, we're really similar. People watch his movie, or billions of people watch his movies and they love it. Hundreds of people watch my movies and they love it. It was something along the lines of that. Uh-huh. And you even saying that, and I'm thinking about Lynch more, makes me think about The Fabelmans, where Lynch plays John Ford in it.
Oh my God.
There's this really funny fourth wall breaking moment where a character's like, you got to meet this guy. You're ready to meet the greatest filmmaker of all time. And then David Lynch walks through the door. And that's a meta commentary and fourth wall break, at least I think, on Spielberg's feelings.
It makes me want to cry. Lynch. I didn't cry watching it, but it makes me want to cry, thinking about the meta.
And I'm putting words in his mouth a little, but come on. You have David Lynch playing John Ford.
Why else would you cast a famous director as a famous director then?
And I just will say that you brought up the point about this idea of a dark world with this sincere optimism with it feels very Lynch to me in a lot of ways. So that's my soapbox.
Yeah. I feel like stylistically, this movie feels like an early 2000s movie. This feels like I'm watching Minority Report.
I was about to say, it feels like Minority Report in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's a spoiler. This movie is way closer linked to Minority Report than I expected going in, and I kind of love the kinetic energy of Minority Report.
It's so interesting because it really drops you in the middle of action.
Immediately. Mm-hmm.
It's immediately action heavy. And so the story really does combine this action and thrill of stories like Minority Report, War of the Worlds, etc., with the whimsy of movies like E.T. or Close Encounters.
Hey, you're stealing my exact quotes.
Matt, it's the quote I wrote for the TikTok I made you record.
We feel similarly. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying, but
yes,
I
very much so.
Yeah, you might have said the words. It's because I wrote them. Yeah, so I do think it is a really interesting combination of things, and I think that also might be hard for some people to buy into too. That it is doing both of those things.
And I'm not going to fault people for struggling to buy into that, especially over top sincerity. Mm-hmm. And a film that's apples and oranges to compare, though, is we really like The Batman, Matt Reeves, The Batman. Mm-hmm. That movie is extremely sincere for a superhero movie. It's middle school melodrama in some ways, and they commit to it. Mm-hmm. And it works for us because of that, because we're able to buy into it. And I can understand that that's hard sometimes. So. Yeah. But maybe we're just empaths.
I am an empath. So.
Shut the fuck up. I'm an empath. All right.
I would never say it, but like I am.
I'm an empath, and it seems like there's something that is bothering you. All right. So you can continue. I keep making jokes, interrupting what you're saying. Do you have anything else?
That's that point here.
I completely agree. I'll jump into the Minority Report and Schindler's List as well. Spielberg,
what a comparison point.
And I think, I'll shout out Brian talking horror because I think he said this as well. Spielberg's secret amazing trait is his pacing. Everyone talks about all the other amazing things he does. His pacing is immaculate. This is a 2.5 hour movie. It does drop you right into the action, but some of the action of this movie is people trying to turn the power on.
Yeah.
And it's exhilarating. And I look at Schindler's List. 3 hours and 15 minutes. Was there a moment that we were like, I need a break? Absolutely not. I was locked in for all of Schindler's List. We said we were going to be like, oh, we'll take a break and do something else. No, we put that on and we watched for 3 hours and 15 minutes. And same with this. This is a 2.5 hour movie that feels like it goes by lightning fast. Mm-hmm. I was getting worried it was going to be over. I was like, please, I need more. So just saying, his pacing is immaculate.
What do you think of the performances in this film? One thing, obviously, that the internet is talking about is, of course, Emily Blunt, so we might as well start there.
I think she's great. I think she does exactly what's needed. I think this is great casting. Other than the accent's not great, but I don't know if I really care.
Like her Midwestern
accent? Whatever you're calling it. You can kind of tell she's British.
Yeah. Honestly, I forgot she was British. I just was like, something about the accent is slightly off, but I don't know why. I forgot she was totally a British woman. Yeah, That's so
Isn't
funny.
She? Or
she is. She is. That's really funny.
Overall, she's really good. The charisma that comes from her in a character that is, for plot reasons, really needs to be charismatic. I think she nails it. Mm-hmm. And I have said this before. I think that it's harder for women to portray charisma on the screen. I think just based on writing, male gaze, all that stuff. And I think she nails it. So
I actually was so disappointed by how not charismatic Josh O'Connor was. And it's not any fault of Josh O'Connor.
Not at all.
It is completely that the writing is so focused on her arc that he doesn't get as much to work with.
His character also is not supposed to be charismatic. That's like a literal character feature. I was going to call it a flaw.
But I also do think the writing, it doesn't care about him.
It doesn't, correct. I do think the writing doesn't allow him to do as much. I think he does exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yes, I still like him in this. But yeah, he's not standout the way he was in something like Challengers or in Knives Out 3. What's it called? I don't know the name.
Wake Up Dead Man.
Wake Up Dead Man. Yeah.
Do you think? I'm sorry, I jumped from Emily and then I'm jumping back
to
her.
Fine.
Do you think this is the best performance of her career?
I was thinking about that. I don't know. I need to think about more of her career because you know that I love her. Well, I love her in Live, Die, Repeat / whatever that's called.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. We love her in A Quiet Place, although I think her performance is just fine in that movie.
Here,
you know what? This very well could be. I'd have to look at her filmography.
Let me this or that you real quick.
Okay.
So, Disclosure Day or Oppenheimer?
She's got so much more to do in Disclosure Day. She's great in Oppenheimer, but I'm going to give it to Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day or A Quiet Place?
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day or...
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
No, I haven't seen it.
Disclosure Day or Looper.
Oh, maybe Looper. Again, very subdued. I like her in that, though. I forgot that was her.
Disclosure Day or The Adjustment Bureau.
I forgot that was her. That movie kind of slaps, unless I misremember it. I remember really liking it as a kid.
I know, as a youth,
probably Disclosure Day. She just has so much to do in Disclosure Day, and I think she kind of crushes it.
Disclosure Day or Edge of Tomorrow.
You didn't ask about Sicario, which I've never seen. I've heard
that's
she's
why
great
I
in that
didn't
too.
ask it, because
Edge of
I'm
Tomorrow.
sure that's most people.
I'm giving it Edge of Tomorrow. I love her as Rita.
Disclosure Day or The Devil Wears Prada.
How do you apples oranges? Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, I honestly think I gotta give
That's
it
such a dumb
to Devil
answer.
Wears Prada. I love that movie, and I love her in that movie so much.
Yeah.
I think outside of Meryl, she's like the standout performer in that movie. Okay, just wondering. And then, yeah, Josh O'Connor, it's like, obviously, Wake Up Dead Man challengers among a bunch of movies we haven't seen him in.
I'll say Coleman's great, though, and also has great charisma.
Oh my God.
I love him.
That's the most charismatic man on the planet. I love him so much.
Optimism is contagious in this, too, at least for me. I love his...
He really nails the sincerity of the optimism in a way that, like...
The faith, we'll even say.
I buy into it when I don't buy into optimism very well as a human being.
I do. So maybe that's why this movie works for me.
I am definitely more, like, pessimistic, I would say.
I'm a believer.
And I don't know, I've been through some shit. I work with people who are in really tough situations every day. I'm pretty much surrounded by bad things pretty often for my job.
I was saying I think that's another reason I liked this, though, is like I feel like we had like kind of a hard month. And the joy and optimism of this is like what I needed in the moment.
But I will say,
I was willing to...
I struggle to buy into positivity a lot. Like, I think people who are probably just like genuinely a positive, happy person, sometimes I'm like, that's toxic positivity, or like that rubs me the wrong way. Because that just like doesn't feel authentic to me.
I know what toxic positivity is. This is not that. But,
this is not, no. But even if I am that type of person, Coleman Domingo, I was like, yes, King.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I agree. I will fight for you till the end, King. I love that man.
He's great.
He's also so beautiful. What about our final, primary lead? I guess there's two more. Let's go Colin Firth.
I didn't realize it was him because I'm stupid.
And
neither did you.
I didn't realize it was fucking Colin Firth. I don't know why. I guess he's like more...
It's because I'm not used to him being like the antagonist of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like he also just had more like going on in his cheeks, maybe.
He's older. He, he was a good little bad guy, as I'll say. He's a good little Spielberg bad guy.
He looks way different than normal. Look at the shape of his face.
They made him look a little decrepit and a little angry. I liked him. That's all I'll say, though. What do you think? I mean, did you enjoy him in this?
I, too, enjoyed me some Colin Firth. I've never met a Colin Firth I didn't like.
I don't know how to describe the performance he has in this, but...
It's pretty... He scares me.
Right? It's like kind of one note, but at the same time, it's like, I find him to be like a scary, powerful figure.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
And while I think his arc is incomplete, I like the trajectory that it goes on.
Yeah.
I just wish it was done better.
I might argue with that later, but that's okay.
That is totally fair. We totally do. I guess finally the last main member of the cast would be Eve Hewson.
I don't know her very well, and she was fine. Not bad. She did what she needed to do. I liked her in the moments. I do find that a lot of the actors just do exactly what was needed of them.
Yes,
and
I agree.
And I think that with the Spielberg movie, not always, but sometimes that's what needs to be done. Because sometimes it's not about you. There's plenty of Spielberg movies where he really highlights an actor, though. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Schindler's List, or Catch Me If You Can, or Raiders of the Lost Ark, or E.T., Jesus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure plenty. But this is one where Emily is like kind of the highlight, I would say. But the real highlight is the direction and this story that's being told. So, yep. Okay.
Any other thoughts that you want to share that are spoiler free?
I do not. I want to get into spoilers.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's enter the spoiler zone right now.
We're entering the spoiler zone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the spoiler zone. After this point, you're going to hear some things that you might not want to hear.
All right, let's do some 15-second summaries.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I can go first if you want.
No, I'll just
No,
get
you're going
it
to go?
out
Are you
the way.
ready? I'm ready. Go.
There is proof of aliens, and man is trying to disclose it to the world, and his boss is like, no, and then wants to hunt him down, and then another lady gains, like, this knowledge of aliens, and then there's, like, a reveal of information.
That's it. That's 15 seconds right there.
I think I nailed it.
There's actually so much to say in this movie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so 2 kids get abducted when they're by aliens. One gets the ability to understand aliens. One gets the ability to understand people because aliens want to use them so they can introduce themselves to the world and let the world stage know, but we've been trying to hide it. They've been here this whole time. And eventually at the end, they win and we're able to reveal the aliens to the world.
Yay!
Yes. Chaos doesn't ensue, or maybe it does. Okay, so I'm going to do the full plot description now. So, you ready? All
Yep.
right. As the world stands poised on the brink of World War III, cybersecurity specialist and math genius Daniel Kellner steals a piece of extraterrestrial technology and related files detailing various events of human-alien contact from the Wardex Corporation, a secret arm of the U.S. government. Wardex CEO Noah Scanlon discovers the theft and has Daniel branded a foreign spy, making him the target of federal authorities. Daniel goes into hiding at a covenant with his girlfriend Jane. In Kansas... I said covenant, I meant convent. In Kansas City, television meteorologist Margaret is preparing for work when a cardinal flies into her home, briefly observes her, and then flies away. The incident awakens latent psychic abilities, allowing Margaret to intuitively understand the thoughts and emotions of others and unconsciously communicate in languages she has never learned. During a live weather broadcast, Margaret unexpectedly begins speaking in an unknown language. Footage of the broadcast goes viral and draws the attention of Wardex, which identifies the language as an extraterrestrial in origin. After being hospitalized and nearly getting captured by Scanlon's agents, Margaret also goes into hiding. Elsewhere, Daniel hears Margaret's broadcast and is able to understand the language she spoke. She said something along the lines of, "Do not fear what you do not understand." Daniel reveals the stolen files to Jane, explaining that Wardex has been experimenting on alien captives and reverse engineering their technology, and states his intention to make the information public. Through an alien device that grants him telepathic capabilities, Scanlon forms a psychic bond with Jane and uses it to track them to a hotel. Jane escapes with another alien device also stolen by Daniel, but Daniel is captured. Meanwhile, as her abilities develop, Margaret receives visions of Daniel and follows them to a black site where he's being held. They escape when Margaret learns how to use her abilities to empathetically influence their pursuers into standing down. Margaret and Daniel are rescued by a team of Vortex employees who have become whistleblowers. Their leader, Hugo, who has been working with Daniel, shelters them in a warehouse containing a reconstruction of Margaret's childhood home and encourages her to recover suppressed memories connected to the extraterrestrial phenomenon. Inside, Margaret remembers that she and Daniel were abducted by aliens as children and subjected to experiments that gave them their powers. This happened at the same time. They were together. Margaret and Daniel, accompanied by the whistleblowers, break into the former's television studio to make a public broadcast they call Disclosure Day. Scanlon and his team attempt to stop them, disabling the power grid and the station's backup generator, but Jane arrives and gives her device to Margaret, who uses it to restore the power. Defeated, Scanlon decides to watch instead of continuing to stop them. The transmission reveals to the stunned world historical evidence of alien encounters and the ensuing government cover-ups. As the broadcast reaches a global audience, halting the imminent war, the whistleblowers reveal one of the extraterrestrials whom they freed. The alien privately communicates a message to Daniel, who relays it to Margaret. With the world watching, Margaret prepares to deliver the message, saying, "Listen." And then the movie ends.
I thought that final third act ripped.
It was sick. That was the part where we're saying was they're trying to get the power on, and it's the most exciting thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's really exhilarating for being so tame. This movie will really make these smaller set pieces or smaller scale events feel like the end of the fucking world.
They kind of were, yeah. I mean, the end of our characters. I think that they've done such a good job of endearing us to these characters and their struggle and their mission. Mm-hmm. And so you're kind of you're along for the ride with them. You've been planted in the passenger seat with these two. And I think the filmmaking does a really good job of that, how it's shot and everything. So you're like, their failure almost becomes like your failure, I think.
Well, I also think it's just that, like, I'm with them in that I want this information to be revealed. I don't know if everyone would feel that way, that it's important information to be revealed.
I do.
I mean, that's the central question.
I also don't want us torturing aliens.
Well, I get the central question of the story is like, would this ruin our world, or do we need this knowledge? Like, will this fuck people up more to know this?
Oh, yeah. See, I just don't think so. I think...
And we never get the answer, right? Because we never actually get the answer because it ends with the broadcast.
I do think the movie has a clear leaning of that. No, this needs to be disclosed.
It needs to be disclosed.
This is the right thing.
And I think because obviously there is literal footage of torture, obviously I'm on board. I'm like, yeah, we should reveal this because we can't have this government entity actively torturing people, aliens, on camera that have no control or agency.
And they're a branch that responds to nobody.
Yeah.
There's no one above them because they cut the president out because they become a civilian. And because Nixon was showing off the aliens in the movie.
Goddamn Nixon.
Great scene. Great moment.
Spielberg hates Nixon. It's really funny. Because it's not his first movie to shit on Nixon in a subtle way.
What was the other one?
I can't remember, but I know it's a thing.
I thought you were going to tell me like Catch Me If You Can or something. And I was like, I don't remember that.
I don't believe so, but that would be funny. So... yeah, I'm very on board with what they're doing, and I think the thrill of the final act of, like, actually revealing that information had me really tense and, like, nervous and excited, and I do like how it was revealed, and I love that it just ends with listen. Because I want to know what he said, but I don't need to know what he said. And I just thought that was like
understand.
A genius ending. But I guess my issue is there are just so many plot conveniences or like small frustrating moments that like keep this from being a better movie for me. I like the movie, but like I think this could have more easily been a better movie if they didn't fuck up certain things for me.
Okay. I mean, you can name some.
So...
I'll tell you if you're being pedantic or not.
So I just feel like there are a lot of plot conveniences. Like, for example, you're going to call me annoying for this. When he sneaks into the car so easily and steals the car, I'm like, bro, you weren't even quiet. Like, everyone could have turned around and seen you do that. And normally I can suspend my disbelief. But I think it's a movie that's like every scene has one of those.
I think it's because where they place the camera to have you really close up in the action and also understand where everybody else is, it ends up giving it an uncanny feeling of, wow, he would not be able to sneak there. I felt it too, and I decided to ignore it.
That's the thing. I think there's a lot of... I just think it happens in almost every scene.
You wouldn't have done it if people in the theater didn't laugh when they saw it.
No,
you would have?
I
Okay.
had the urge to laugh. The thing is I've said it like 4 times. It happens so frequently that it becomes hard to suspend my disbelief when there's like a lot of things I have to suspend my disbelief for. Or like when he's first showing Jane the torture videos and she just like immediately is like, but what about God? So, and I'm like, girl, I know we get like a tie-in with that later in the film, but that never feels organic for me. It just feels like it's just there.
I felt that her bringing up, like, well, what if people... Hannah's not... She's bearing the lead a little. Basically, the setup is that this girl is like, if we're disclosed on aliens, what about all these people that believe in God? Like, what's going to happen there? Are we going to... And it's kind of the idea of this moral panic of people only get their morals from the Bible, and if the Bible's not right because of this, then everyone's going to freak out, which I disagree with. But I think I'm supposed to disagree with this character.
A lot of the people who are so up their ass about what's right and wrong in the Bible. Obviously, there are people who like are very kind, moral, great people who are using their religion as a guide for that. But I think there are just so many people in the world currently who are using their religion as a source or a weapon that I couldn't. It just wasn't.
Sure. My point, though, is I think you're supposed to disagree with this character. But what's cool is it has a full circle moment. I think it's a little...
I just feel like even the full circle moment... Well, you interrupted me 70 times. So okay. I just feel like even the full circle moment, I was like, okay, sure.
Oh, see,
like what
it led to really worked for me. While I felt that it was a little clunky in its setup, I thought the payoff was worth it, so I didn't mind.
I thought that the payoff was also clunky, but I liked the payoff still.
The payoff was bars, dude. The payoff was...
Why would he make such a vast universe only for us?
And she goes, it reads the part from Genesis that says that... Well, she's talking to the nun who was...
Yeah, I said the final part of the quote. She's talking to the nun. She's like concerned, and the nun is basically like...
Well, Genesis says we're God's greatest creation. And then
she's like,
the nun goes,
Earth.
on Earth.
And then she says, why would he make such a vast universe only for us? And that's kind of what convinces Jane, like, okay, disclosing this probably is the right thing, and that doesn't mean that the writing of the Bible or what I like to believe in the Bible, that doesn't make it not accurate.
It's also bars because the Bible does say on Earth.
I like that because I do think that a lot, like I've said, a lot of religious people, specifically in like Catholicism, I think is clear to say that, again, their religion is used as a weapon to enforce hate on other people.
Evangelicals even more, but yeah.
And I think that type of religious person would be like, I don't believe in aliens because it goes against the Bible or whatever. Yeah. Like exactly what Jane's worry is. But I think the people who are very truly Christian at their core and like a good person would believe in what the sister is saying.
And I think that that's why she's making that point. And I like that. I do think this movie also discusses faith in a lot of other ways. So I think that works. But we can get to that in a little bit.
Felt like I like the quote. I like that. I just feel like it's so spoon-fed and clunky.
Maybe.
I just feel like everything the movie's doing with like a very blatant talk of religion is very spoon-fed and clunky.
Well, we'll get to it when we get to, what's it called? Themes. Because I get some other thoughts.
Sure. I also find it kind of frustrating that he is radicalized and he radicalizes Jane with the footage of the torture, and then they don't show that on the broadcast. And I understand why.
I think it's because we've already seen it.
Because we've already seen it. But then I'm kind of like, that's the thing. I wish they just showed other versions of torture on the broadcast.
I think that would have I don't know. I think you assume it's there. It's just they're not going to show us something we've already seen.
I know that. But like everyone's getting so emotional. And I'm like, the really bad thing hasn't even happened, guys. So I know that that's kind of like a small
I think that's pedantic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You can feel that way.
Okay.
The thing that probably bothers me legitimately the most is that we make a pretty big deal about Margaret's characterization and how she became the person she did because of this traumatic event from her childhood, which the traumatic event that she is blocked out was that she had this encounter with the aliens. Mm-hmm. But Josh O'Connor's character had the same trauma, and it seems like it was a lot worse for him.
Yeah.
And we don't dig into that at all. At all. Like, they built the house for her. He also doesn't remember. And I know they knew ahead of time, like, they knew ahead of time about her. They didn't know about Josh. So it's not like they were going to, like, build a house for Josh because they didn't know that his
It's because Josh was already on their side.
Yeah, but they also didn't know that he had the alien connection until he could hear her speaking.
No, they knew. That's why he was hired in the first place.
They did not know for certain that he
was one of the two.
No, he did not. He even says he did not know. They say it in the movie. Right. No, he knows that the alien told him to hire him, basically. But he doesn't know why.
Gotcha. All right.
And so he thought it's just her, but turns out there's a pair of them. But his powers were already
fully developed. I thought the whole reason that they did the house was because they need to fully develop her powers.
And this is true. However, I just think it's kind of like
odd
and annoying to me.
See, none of this stuff really bothered me, but that's fine.
But I think if you're going to have this like exploration of trauma, which I think the movie is doing to a degree, you're not doing it super well when you're just leaving his very, very clear trauma unpacked.
Is it unpacked? I mean, I feel like you see it in that scene.
Packed. No, he's not he's the one freaking the fuck out. And they're like holding him down.
And then they get through it.
But he never actually has to process. It's all about how she emotionally responds.
I guess I was thinking that she uses her like empathy power to like calm him and then is there for him. And that's like why it's important that these two found each other. And that's part of it.
I think
that's fine. Fair. I mean, that's my reading.
I just feel like
I have not heard any of these
Maybe-
complaints from you until now.
Yeah, because I kept them to myself so I
Yeah.
could tell you on the mic.
I don't like it because I don't agree.
I think part of my thing that... Did you read that at all? It's like allegory for like childhood sexual assault.
No.
Okay, so that's just like totally
Yeah, I
amazing.
wasn't reading it that way at all.
Well, not necessarily assault, but like some sort of childhood trauma or abuse.
Yeah,
which
I
could
saw just like
encapsulate-
repression, but I also was reading it very textually that there are people who have had experiences. They call them experiencers. I learned this from Reddit because there were people that were very excited about this movie because they were like, now people might actually like Google experiencers. And I was thinking it more of like that is the trauma of the unknown and the abduction and all that. But I guess all alien abduction can kind of be an allegory for abuse.
Well, I do think that's a very common...
Yeah,
That's
I
a
wasn't
very
reading
common
it that way
narrative.
in this, considering the aliens
And
were
there
real.
also is like historically a lot of people who were abused and their like delusion and hallucination is
abducted.
alien abduction. So that, I guess, from like my career
Yeah.
psych, like that's where my brain went. So the fact that they don't unpack his when he has like also a trauma response, just maybe a different one from her. Like he also repressed it.
Yeah.
He also sees more danger than she does. And like the aliens when they come up, even as animals. So I just find it odd that that's not unpacked at all.
Yeah, I just didn't read it as that because I thought this movie wanted, because textually they actually were aliens that were like benevolent.
No, I know.
So-
But that doesn't mean that it couldn't also
Yeah.
be something subtextually.
Well, yeah, if you're trying to read that though, then they didn't do a good job.
Yeah,
If that's the reading you
but-
have. I didn't have that reading, so
But
I
I'm
didn't have the
saying
problem.
I did.
Yeah.
And again, that could just be me, but I saw one or two other people say that on TikTok in my like 2
Yeah.
seconds I've been on TikTok this week.
But that also, like, it's kind of odd to have the complaint of that they didn't do a good job unpacking that if that was not the intended read. But I mean, it happens. Like, you did it. You ended up reading it that way.
It's a very common read for alien abduction, historically.
Yeah.
And in literature and in life. That, again, alien abduction delusions are not uncommon. So I don't think it's a crazy read.
Yeah.
But that's a me problem, perhaps.
No, apparently other people on TikTok thought so.
Well, at least one.
Yeah, at least one. All right.
I watched 2 whole videos in TikTok in the last 3 days, and that was one of
One
the
of
2.
them. All right.
So
I wasn't.
I was like, oh
wasn't
my god,
feeling
me
that.
too.
So that's more about you guys.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, I think it's like a reasonable thought. I just think given the other context of the movie, it doesn't really fit within that context. But that's fine. Maybe I'm missing something. I'll think about it more.
I don't know how that wouldn't fit in. There's so much about the movie about trauma, like her unresolved trauma it's about revealing that unresolved trauma is like her whole
And meeting
arc.
it with empathy.
Yeah,
Right,
so I don't know why that exploration of that trauma
I
would
don't
not
know.
be relevant.
I don't have an answer for this one.
That's fine. You don't have to. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay, I have unloaded my problems.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's most of my problems.
Okay. My biggest problems where I think some of the dialogue is clunky and I think some of the plot
David
points.
Kep, I swear to God, that motherfucker.
Some of it's
Stop rating
good
my
though. Some of it's
movies.
really good. And some of it is, I think some of the contrivances can be a little clunky. However, I think the way it all comes together makes some of those clunky moments worth it. I guess I wish that maybe they were figured out how to smooth it out. But the finale, I think, sticks the landing so hard that I'm okay. And I enjoy the on the run from the government plot. I like how quick it's moving. I like jumping back and forth between these 3 characters. Mm-hmm. And I find that interesting. And for me, I think this movie is a lot about faith, which I will also compare it to Signs a little bit for that. I said after seeing this, I was like, this is like Signs, Close Encounters, E.T., and Minority Report.
Yeah.
Mixed together. I really enjoy the faith aspect and the empathy themes. So I mean, I'm happy to just get into them if you'd like.
I want to start off the empathy
that's fine.
part, but you can start off the faith part if you don't need me
No,
to start off with empathy.
start with empathy and then you'll help me find my way.
Okay. So, like we mentioned earlier, I think Spielberg has always been a very hopeful and optimistic filmmaker.
Very sincere, yes.
And Disclosure Day is no exception to that. And in essence, like my read of the film on like a very basic level is that it's a film about the power of empathy. That's her whole character, is that she is just completely empathetic
Yep.
to a max. And it's like the events of this movie are taking place during what feels like the lead up to World War III. Right?
It's supposed to feel very now, where it's like
occurring,
all this stuff is
like
happening.
Violence are occurring in other countries, to the point where like even the US, there's like looting at convenience stores and whatnot. Like things are not good. World War III is like coming, is the feel.
Yep.
And so
we're gonna destroy. This is like the big one. Like we're gonna destroy ourselves.
Yeah. So it's very much a film about the power of empathy and how leading with empathy is always going to be superior to making decisions out of fear.
And the aliens say it themselves: "Do not fear what you do not understand."
And it very much feels like if we genuinely all had empathy for one another, like Americans had empathy for Iranians, had empathy for Palestinians, had empathy for Jewish people, had empathy for, fellow mankind, women, men, whatever.
Yeah.
Then World War III would be stopped.
Yeah, there's some of it there.
I think that's at its very,
that might be a little naive, but yes, it is the idea.
That's the thing, is I don't think Spielberg is saying, like, that is the soul, like, that is the only way out of World War III. Or that is the sole thing that, like, saves us, is our empathy. But Spielberg knows that's a big ask. Like, he's not an idiot. But I do think at its core, it is very much about leading with empathy will always be superior to making decisions out of fear of the unknown. Which is what Colin Firth's character is doing the whole movie. He's like... He's leading out of fear. He's leading after his wife has died completely. Yeah. And his fear was amplified by the passing of his wife. And I think there's complaints about him kind of like just sitting down in the final act.
I liked that he was done.
But I think it's like he was leading with so much fear, especially in the wake of what the world looked like to him after his wife died, and then having to like actually face her because of Emily Blunt's new gift, having to actually like see his wife and like face her face to face, I think gave him like a new perspective.
Brought his empathy back.
Yeah.
And his communication back. So I'm going to take it a step further beyond empathy because I don't think it's just empathy that they're asking. It's a lot about communication, which, kind of fits with a movie like Arrival, which we love. And it's like you need to communicate and also lead with empathy. And I think that's kind of the idea is that we on the world stage
disclosing
correct
information.
So we talked about this, and let me rant a little. I immediately, because of the Fabelmans, saw both Daniel Kellner and Margaret as Spielberg's parents.
Yes.
And I said that.
Having watched the Fabelmans since you brought that to my attention, I agree.
And it's been brought up that if you look at Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which Spielberg says he didn't do this on purpose, it was subconscious, but in the movie, the government ends up using their computer to speak to the aliens via music, which his mother was a musician, an artist. His father was a genius computer scientist that worked at IBM. And so it's kind of like this is, and his parents had a divorce. Well, yeah, they got divorced. There's a whole, thing.
There's a whole movie about it.
There's a whole movie about it. Go watch Fabelmans. And it's this idea of they are communicating through their two separate interests. And I think their big discrepancy on art versus science and math was probably part of what Spielberg saw as an issue between them. And he definitely aligned more with the art side, but clearly has brought so much science into his work.
It's very interesting, yeah.
It's this whole idea about that's his parents communicating. That's how they could have communicated or found their way, or that's how he wanted to make them communicate. In this, Kellner is given the language of the universe, mathematics. And she is given the language to understand empathy. And I see that as the empathy is the artist, the mathematics is the computer scientist again. And so there's his parents right there, once again, that have to use both of their skills to communicate and save the world. And use those two skills to both communicate with the aliens, communicate with the other and every other country. And that's kind of the whole thought. And I know I'm going on a little long here, but that's like how I am interpreting that is it's communication and leading that communication with empathy. So, yep. And yeah, I guess it's just, there's more to it than that. And I think it's really cool. So
how do you feel like the faith piece ties in with
Oh my goodness, that's a whole different piece. Actually, before I get to that, we also need to say that there is definitely some imagery to what I would say is like ICE detention centers in terms of the disclosing what the hell's going on inside of there. And I would say that obviously there's like war imagery as well, which is like if there was better communication, we might not send 18-year-olds to go die in war, or empathy for your fellow man. In this situation, I also felt that it's the aliens being tortured is kind of that by some government agency that has no oversight, ICE or, whatever they are. And Spielberg is kind of pointing that out again, is that information needs to be out there, and we should not fear the other, because all of this happens because we fear the other, the alien, or the illegal alien in US terms, right? Yeah. And so it's asking the fellow man to stop, because this is what we are doing to people. You felt for those aliens screaming, but you don't feel for the children being separated at the border, and you don't feel for the thousands of people under those aluminum foil blankets there in a New Jersey detention center where just recently a bunch of people went to jail for protesting the conditions. Actually, I don't know if that was an ICE one or a different detention center. Either way, my point stands, is we need to stop fearing what we do not understand. And aliens is the best way to do it. And we're better at understanding aliens and animals than we are actual fellow man, just because they have a different nationality. So, yep, that's my long rant. So, yes, that's my thought on the empathy, the communication, and imagery. Did you think about that one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I know we talked about the war stuff as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the imagery is very much giving needless death in war, and again, I think there's a very fair comparison to the detention centers, in the terms of the imagery that is being released on the broadcast. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk about faith. I'm going to Michael Scott this one, okay? Because I have thoughts, but I want to make sure. So, faith in this movie is obviously religious, but there's also this faith in the mechanics of the world, the science of the world, if you will, which I think Coleman Domingo has throughout. That he is like, I believe these two will find each other. He has this faith that the plan is all going to come together, and he kind of has to let it be and let it do its thing. And I think that there is this fear of a higher power, but for me, I have this faith that we're not alone, I guess. And I want to believe, there's no proof we're not alone, but it scares the shit out of me to think we are in this universe.
It scares the shit out of me to think that we
aren't. Both
aren't, yeah.
Yes. I don't think it does for me, and I think you have to have this like faith in the mechanics of the biology of the universe beyond, and like, what is God other than the faith in the mechanics of everything, right? Like, to some degree, I'm reading this like kind of both ways. And to some people, that's how it is. We wake up, the sun comes up every morning. We're spinning around a giant fucking star. The universe is ever expanding. Like, there has to be something out. And I have this belief, I would say, that that's out there. And I also have a belief that we can make things better here on our planet, which kind of goes back to the empathy. So I think there's this idea of belief and not going beyond that. Obviously, that ties easily into religion, and that's how they can like make that work in this movie. But I think it's a little bit of both, and it's cool. So, any thoughts on that? I know I word vomited a little, but... No. Do you agree, disagree? I mean, Hannah's holding her head like I confused her.
No, it's not that you confused me. I thought you were going to talk more, because earlier... No, it was more just like earlier when I talked about religion, you were like, I have more to say about religion.
Oh, my bad.
And then that had nothing to do with religion.
Well, the religion part was more about the God's greatest creation here on earth.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so sorry. It wasn't that I was like, I don't follow you. I was just like,
it's more about faith. And I look at Signs, and Signs, I love this movie, and it's about a preacher or a pastor who has like lost their faith. And then he basically comes to the conclusion, and even scarier when you find out there's aliens, like, but he comes to the conclusion through all the actions that everything happens for a reason. And so maybe there is some divine greater power that is pulling the strings. And for Coleman Domingo's character, that happens here as well, right? He is saying like, maybe the aliens are the higher power. I think that beyond that, there is probably a higher power in their mind, but everything the aliens are brought to him for a reason. He is able to bring these two together. He believes in the mechanics of them and the mechanics of this like love or this empathy that is able to bring it. He believes that this disclosure will make society better. He believes that it'll fix our problems, and he believes in the people, right? I keep saying believe a bunch, but he believes that the people can take this information and be okay with it, and that it is going to fix problems, or that they're going to be able to at least use it to better communicate. And I think that's cool. I'm sorry, again, I'm going roundabout because I think there's a lot of ideas here, and I don't know how the best to put them all together. But that is, I guess my point is, what is God other than, belief in, again, as I said, the mechanics of the universe. Some people a scientist would argue that. So I'm trying to sound smart. I don't know if I am. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. I think that's as far as I can take this one right now.
That's fine with me.
But, I'll take it from. I'm saying that this idea of faith can work for the religious and the non-religious and all different types of religion. It's like a belief in that things are going to work out, I guess, and that you should be a good person and be empathetic and make these things work.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's my thought. Especially the whistleblowers, badasses. We need some whistleblowers in these ICE detention centers and that actually do real action.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's me. And I hope that's what he's saying. I hope that that's what Spielberg is saying, is if we believe that things can get better, we can make them better. Cool. That's it. Maybe I'm just toxically positive. Dead-assionately. Okay. All right, you have me ranting for too long. I feel awkward now.
Okay, let's move on. Okay. Hot takes.
Hot takes. Emily Blunt is the new Amy Adams.
Explain.
That's all I have. No, I was just thinking about how Amy Adams went on that like absolute generational run of films, and then like kind of fell off
run of
stinkers. I feel like Emily Blunt has been in like Amy Adams was in good stuff beforehand, then went on a generational run. I think we're the beginning of Emily Blunt's generational run.
Sure.
We got Live, Die, Repeat. We got
Matt. That
Oppenheimer.
was so long.
Shut up.
That is not a part of the run.
We got. Oh, it's not? Okay.
That was so long ago. That's
she's
like
great
absolutely not.
You know what? Don't stop ruining my hot take.
What's bad?
She's the new Amy Adams.
Well, if you want to take that's not hot, but like max warm. And then I have an actual hot take. Fine. Okay, my warm take. David Koepp has written 5 good films in the 2000s onward.
Okay.
I haven't even seen 2 of the ones I'm considering in the 5.
How many has he written total, and only 5 of them are good?
Well over 20.
Okay.
So he has a failing grade of a 22%.
Okay. So read the good ones.
The good ones include Spider-Man.
Which Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire.
Oh, the first one?
Yes.
Nice.
War of the Worlds.
Tight. I like that movie.
Presents.
Oh, yeah, Presents. I like Presents. Couldn't think of what that was.
Oh, I guess it's 6. I forgot to include Disclosure Day.
Okay.
Disclosure Day.
But he didn't write it very well, so maybe you don't include it.
Exactly, that's my problem. Panic Room and Black Bag.
All right, I haven't seen those.
Let's do a quick this or that of movies written by David Koepp.
Okay.
Not necessarily of this century.
Got it.
Disclosure Day or Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Disclosure Day or Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Disclosure Day or The Lost World.
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day or Spider-Man.
Is Spider-Man the first one?
Yes.
Disclosure Day. What the fuck? Nah, I don't know. Spider-Man's a really good movie.
Disclosure Day or War of the Worlds.
Disclosure Day. I like War of the Worlds a lot, but Disclosure Day is a better movie.
Disclosure Day or Zathura.
Disclosure Day. Zathura?
Yeah.
Classic.
I wanted to pull out some David Koepp movies I know you've seen of this century. Disclosure Day or Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day or the most recent Indiana Jones movie I didn't write down, but I did write it.
Dial of Destiny.
Yes. Disclosure Day or The Mummy 2017.
Never saw it.
I know, but I thought it was a funny pool. Disclosure Day or Presents.
Presents. Presents is simple, but I like Presents a lot.
Okay, you can read it for me.
Okay. Disclosure Day or JP.
JP.
Disclosure Day or Mission Impossible. You never saw the first one the full way through.
I fell asleep, so I'll go Disclosure Day.
I don't know. If we're comparing writing versus movie, it's hard. But Disclosure Day versus JP, The Lost World.
The Lost World.
Really? Okay, Disclosure Day versus Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Disclosure Day versus War of the Worlds.
Tie.
Disclosure Day versus Zathura.
Disclosure Day, sorry.
You're out of your mind. Oh, I thought you were about to say Zathura.
No,
Disclosure Day or Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day or The Mummy.
I haven't seen it.
Disclosure Day or Presents.
Presents.
Okay, reasonable.
Okay, my actual hot take. The best performance in this film is not Emily Blunt.
It's Coleman Domingo?
The best performance in this film is from Courtney Grace, who plays the anchor during
oh my god
broadcast.
We didn't even talk about how amazing all the footage is during the scene. This whole disclosure scene is unbelievable. It is so good.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I think it lands even harder if the rest of the movie worked for you, which it did for me. So, like, seeing all this footage of the aliens was so scary. This woman, I thought she was legit reacting, thinking that I thought they War of the Worlds, Orson Welles War of the Worlds to her, because her reaction was so genuine to seeing aliens.
So she was an NBC anchor.
Okay.
No, wait. She's an NBC anchor in the movie. She was, though, an actual TV anchor.
Get her back on TV if she's given
of some
this.
kind.
When World War III is happening, I want her on the anchor talking.
So she was a newscaster. Her name's Courtney Grace, and she has since transitioned to do some movies.
Wow. Well, this was awesome, and I'm glad they used her so much. A lot of people said that after the movie. We're like, that was crazy.
Crushed it.
Who was that woman?
So, yeah, that's my hot take. She is actually my standout.
Yeah. That whole, I was saying, though, the whole, like, showing all the footage and all the different alien recreations they did in UFO footage was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I thought.
I
really
agree.
Amazing scene. That really, I think, you said it, it lands the plane.
It lands the plane.
It feels like the end of a Seinfeld episode, as I've joked before. The ABCD plot, they all come together, they coalesce.
I loved this third act. I loved the broadcast. I found myself so moved, and I do think it's because it really does harken back to real life things that are happening now and real footage that we have seen, just substituting instead of people or like small Palestinian children dead on the streets, it's aliens.
Yeah. And I thinking about the faith thing again and the belief, and something that like hits so hard is they cut the power, remember? And who's the one that brings her the last remaining device that can turn the power back on?
The religious
It's the religious
lady.
one that was worried about it. And it's like, oh my God, she figured it out. She got there. Everything fell together in perfect pieces for this to work. And it's like, again, it's like that belief in the system. So, belief in the mechanics.
This was what was
Yes.
to be. So,
And that's what's cool. Also, I mean, aliens have been portrayed as maybe being gods and higher powers. In this one, I don't think the aliens are supposed to be the higher power. And I think that, but we're worried that people would worship them. And we don't want that. She doesn't, remember, she doesn't want to be worshipped. So.
she doesn't.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do some rankings and ratings. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Steven Spielberg has directed at least one sci-fi feature film in each decade of his career. These movies include Firelight, which most of it's a lost film that came out in the 60s, Close Encounters of the Third Kind from the 70s, E.T. from the 80s, Jurassic Park and The Lost World, Jurassic Park from the 90s, and then from 2000 to 2010, he did AI, Minority Report, War of the Worlds, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
If we
In
count that.
2018, he did Ready Player One, and now in the 2020s, he did Disclosure Day. We are going to rank them from...
Based on the ones that we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't seen all of these.
Yes.
So from bottom
Worst.
to top.
Yes.
Let me tell you the ones I haven't seen yet. I didn't write them down, so can I see your list again?
You haven't seen...
I haven't seen Ready Player One or
because most of
Firelight.
it's lost. You haven't seen AI, and
I
then
haven't
you
seen
haven't seen Ready Player One.
I've heard AI is great, and also it's Pinocchio, and I haven't seen it. So probably should at some point. Okay, so my ranking from bottom to top. I have in last Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I actually don't hate this movie, but it's just the weakest of these. Next, I decided to put War of the Worlds. Sick movie, but not for me. Not for me compared to the other ones. Then Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is great. I decided to put Disclosure Day above Close Encounters.
Whoa!
I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'm having a recency bias, and I just think what Disclosure Day did was so interesting, and I really enjoyed it, and I like the messaging of it a lot. I have Minority Report above Disclosure Day. Minority Report rules. I have JP, Jurassic Park, like we call JP, like JC. I have Jurassic Park above that, and then E.T. as
You
my
left off a movie, you did
What'd I leave off?
The Lost World.
Oh, The Lost World's below Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't like The Lost World.
What the
I
fuck?
think it's a bad movie.
Ridiculous.
Wow, I completely left it off. Yeah, Jurassic Park, and then E.T.'s my number one.
That's really funny. My rating's really different. Are you ready?
Yeah, but that's because you don't believe in E.T. yet.
I don't believe in
E.T. makes me cry every time I watch it.
I
so.
do not. I'm not a believer in it.
It's such a well-made movie. You need to watch it.
I
just
keep
because it's so
flip-flopping
well-made.
where The Lost World is because I think it's a bad movie, but I have a lot of nostalgia.
Maybe I'll
for
put it above. No, I think I put it below Kingdom of the Crystal
That's
Skull. I'm
stupid.
sorry.
Okay, ready?
Kingdom's at least fun.
Okay.
I don't find The Lost World even fun to watch.
Okay, earlier in our this or that, I said I like The Lost World better than Disclosure Day, but I don't know if that's actually true. I'm going to give a different answer this time.
Okay.
For funsies, okay? In last, I'm going to say Ready Player One. Then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Then E.T. because it scares
Can we
the
just
fuck out
watch
of
it,
me.
please?
Then I will put The Lost World. Then I will put a tie of War of the Worlds and Disclosure Day. Then in third, I will say Minority Report. In second, I will put Close Encounters. But I haven't seen Minority Report since college, so that could swap.
And you didn't even like Close Encounters that much.
I rated it fine.
Okay.
I rated Disclosure Day higher, but I think Close Encounters is a better movie.
Okay.
And then in number one, I have Jurassic Park, my favorite movie for my whole life.
Yeah.
So, duh.
I get it. JP's great. I'm kind of surprised Close Encounters. I like Close Encounters. I just kind of felt that even though Disclosure Day was clunky, it felt like a little more complete to me. But
Disclosure Day resonated with me more in the time that I'm living in, more than Close Encounters. But I put Close Encounters higher because I think it's a better made movie.
Close Encounters is really well made. I know. I feel I'm struggling with this one too. I really
struggled with trying to figure out like my personal enjoyment versus what I think is more a quality film.
They might be like even for me right now. Is probably what I would say.
So yeah, that was tough. Okay.
All right.
Finally, let's do our top 5 Spielberg from number 5 to number 1.
This is so hard, and my
number 5 is like
this is again like death threat territory, and I really don't know if I feel good about this. I will say I've only seen I think it was like 43% of Spielberg's directed movies, is according to Letterboxd. I put at number 5 Saving Private Ryan. I think it's a anti-war masterpiece, and it's in just such an insanely good, well-acted, well-directed movie. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then at 4, one of my most favorite adventure movies of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay. Which you've never watched all of. It's as good as, which is silly.
Okay, the only time in my adult life, again, I watched all of these when I was like 6. The only time in my adult life that I have watched an Indiana Jones movie was when you and our friend and I were drinking and I fell asleep on said friend's sofa.
It's a good movie.
During every single time.
Number 3, a movie that makes me cry without fail. I have E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Fuck off.
It's beautiful. It's so much whimsy. It's great.
Oh, I'd also like to acknowledge that I didn't put that last, even though I hate it and I'm terrified of it. The score alone, I was like, well, he can't be last. The score's so good. I've heard the score.
It's beautiful. It's a wonderful movie. 2, Schindler's List, which I just saw for the first time and was blown away. Arguably could be in the 1 spot, but the 1 spot is reserved for one of my top 10 movies of all time, which is Jaws, which is as good as it always is and is one of the most important films ever made.
Okay, without explanation or interruption, give us your 5 to 1 just real quick.
Got it. 5, Saving Private Ryan. 4, Raiders of the Lost Ark. 3, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. 2, Schindler's List. Number 1, Jaws.
That's fucking crazy that Jurassic Park is not on that list.
It's not in my top 5.
That's grounds for divorce.
Nope. I like the movie. I don't think it's a top 5 Spielberg.
That's divorce.
No, I think it's a good movie. I think that Spielberg has a lot of really good movies.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Do yours.
My number 5, I was really struggling with because I have not thoroughly watched a single Indiana Jones movie without falling asleep. And I'm so scared of E.T. That guy is terrifying. And I haven't watched Minority Report since college. So right now, and I don't think this would stay this way, I'm gonna say West Side Story or The Fabelmans for number 5.
Fabelman's better than West Side Story.
Number 4, I'm gonna put Catch Me If You Can, which has been one of my favorite movies for my whole life. Number 3, I'm gonna put Schindler's List. Number 2 is Jaws. And number 1, my favorite movie of all time, Jurassic Park.
Of all time?
Matt, you know I have 2 favorite movies. I have 2 favorite movies.
Listen, I love Jurassic Park also.
My 2 favorite movies are Jurassic Park.
But you have known I've argued before
that
Spielberg just has so many good movies that I move Jurassic Park down because I think he just does it better elsewhere. I do think Jurassic Park's great though.
I think it's a masterpiece and I love dinosaurs and it makes me cry every time.
Jaws is in my top 4 on Letterboxd, isn't it? Oh no, it isn't right now.
I cry every time.
Yeah.
When Alan first sees his dinosaurs,
it's great. It is great. We have a T-Rex. Say it again. All right. Now what?
Let's rate Disclosure Day.
Late Disclosure Day. I am going to give Disclosure Day an 8.5 out of 10.
I am going to give Disclosure Day a 7.4.
Okay.
Out of 10.
0.4.
7.5.
7.5. That's fine. That's a good. That's a
At
good
first,
score.
I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but the issues that I have with it, without rewatching it, I don't think I could give it like higher than a 7.5.
IMAX also makes it tough. We had our little IMAX. We didn't have any popcorn with this one.
No popcorn.
But,
maybe it would be
maybe
an
even
8.5
higher.
if
Little
I had
popcorn. Ooh, we should have. Okay.
I did have a Moscow Mule though, and let me tell you, that was awesome.
Okay.
I very rarely
Dalton
drink
endorsement
at the
scale.
movies. I would give this a 3 on a scale of -5 to 5.
You know what's weird? I'll give it a +4. I was almost thinking of it a +3 as well because I was thinking about other people, but I shouldn't. I should think about me. I just know it's going to be controversial. It's an odd movie. I said I finished. I was like, I kind of loved it, but I'm kind of a sicko. And you were like, yeah, true. So it's like that sometimes, you know?
Could be like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is that done? Is that it?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. I've been Matt Hanna.
I'm Anna.
This is Horror with the Hannahs. Stay tuned and stay
stay
scared. And
scared.
don't get abducted by aliens unless you want superpowers.
And don't let your dad hide under your bed when you're a 4-year-old and say E.T. phone home and scare the shit out of you for your whole life and traumatize you. Bye. Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannahs. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever else you can find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post episodes and shorts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannahs on TikTok and Instagram, as well as at Horror Hour on Blue Sky for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!